Hello, everyone. Aaron Krumholtz here from Terror 29, and we are doing Distorted Dimensions. And I have a very special guest, John Runyon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I am good. Now, what makes this gentleman so special to us is we are doing a halfway to Halloween, but on the 26th of April,
Yes.
we are doing, well, not we, you and Screams from the Basement are putting on a horror con, Screams by Night.
Yes.
Now, John, I'm going to be honest. I don't know nothing about you.
Yep.
And I wanted that on purpose. Just because I need to know who you are.
Very good.
And let's tell everybody else who you are.
Yeah.
So, who's John?
Yep. So John is just, first of all, a ravenous comic book nerd. All right. And so the first question I get is, are you from the Sioux Falls area? The answer is technically no. My dad was a Beersford boy. Mom was Rapid City. They met at Augie, joined the Air Force. I was born in Nebraska, lived in Japan for 5 years, California, and then moved out here. Which was super cool. I came out here for college in 2004, and I freaking love the people. I always tell people that think I'm crazy for moving out here, the weather's not warm, but the people are, It's a really cool community out here.
No, that's a neat way of saying it. I'm originally from California, Southern California myself. So coming to South Dakota, my parents got a divorce. Someone forgot to tell me I could move back.
Sure.
That type of thing. Raised my kids, and I wouldn't raise them anywhere else.
Yeah.
Especially after going through the California school system.
Yes, sir.
And I even went through parochial school, so that I had a better chance anyways. But no, I completely understand, but I do like that saying.
Yeah.
I don't like the weather. I've been here for a long time. I'm a South Dakotan now, but I completely understand, but the hearts being warm, I like that. That's really neat.
A lot of good folks here, and just a lot of cool. I think we have a lot going on in our community that, and what we're talking about today is a prime example of that.
Oh, yes.
Shout out to everyone that's out there doing something. And it's not just what we're talking about today, but artists, creators. There's a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah, and what you're the knight in the Screams by Night. So what?
I am the knight. Yes.
Yes, that's my Batman reference for today.
Hey.
So what is?
Yep.
So
what did I bring to the table? That's a fine question. So I actually started a channel last year called Comics by Night, and the premise of that show is that there's decades of comic books that celebrate the horror medium, and that's Marvel Comics, that's DC, and that's indie publishers and so forth. And there's a really cool community out there for that. And so I started my show, and then I actually took a step back from comics because I actually left the comic shop in town. I was working there, and I just chose to step back. And life takes you in crazy directions and stuff like that. But I've been getting the itch the past couple of months, and so Casey, Sam, and I have kept in touch. And we have this amazing intro that we filmed at the Social, which is where the event is coming up next month. And it's just all of the bricks are in place. And I did a couple of episodes, and each time I did it, I just found this enjoyment celebrating these books and gosh, I was in the late 60s when I first started. And so I thoroughly enjoyed celebrating. Each book is like a time capsule, and it's everything from how people say things to how it's illustrated and depicted. And yeah, so that's Comics by Night in a nutshell, and it's still something that is going to be flourishing more coming up. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
It really is. I love the time capsule aspect of it.
Yeah.
As a child growing up reading my Wolverine, my some X-Men, and come to find out I hate Scott Lang. He can kiss my ass. Not Lang, Scott, Cyclops.
Oh
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his. Anyhow, but just even going back and learning the history on the Marvel side.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing how certain people are way they were and how they transformed.
Yeah.
As the alcoholic wife beaters to being the superhero when it's real life presented. That's what I always found amazing, and I still to this day. I wish they would go back to those hard subjects again.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that there were a lot of really neat themes that were brought up because people, we just go through these periods where we're really open about stuff, or we come from a period of the comic code, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, like lots of content all at once. And it's just interesting to watch society impact the quality of the books and the direction of the books. And the market does change. I mean, comic book fans age out or pass away, and people that are younger readers probably are looking for something different. I can tell you that an issue of Doctor Strange now is way different from what it was in Volume 1. But that's the point of my channel, is to acknowledge all of it and to celebrate all of it. I even want to go as far as to maintain like a database of like all the characters that are referenced and that we meet in each issue, that kind of stuff too. Like I want it all, So yeah, I just last night I was feeling a little Disney Plusy, and so I threw on the finale of Agatha All Along. I love my magic and witchcraft from Marvel Comics, and that show just rocked my face off. I was so delighted by how much. I didn't think I'd like it that much, for real.
Really?
Because I'm like, it's a spin-off. We'll see how it goes. And then I'm like, dude, this is amazing.
Well, I love the actress in that.
Yeah, Catherine Hahn's brilliant. Yeah.
I have not watched it because I'm up in the air of the.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it nicely. The extra woke.
Yeah.
I don't mind woke.
Yeah.
It's the extra, and I have some things on that, but that's me and my opinion.
Yeah,
and that's the great thing.
Yeah,
it's my opinion.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean we can't talk about stuff like that. And that's the beauty. That's what I love about doing stuff like this is we can talk about it on both sides.
Yep.
Now, I had a question I completely forgot.
Thinking of that, like your statement there, the cool thing about even the MCU by itself is there's enough variety where you have your action to your magic to your supernatural, all that stuff. There's something for everyone. And that's what I really like about that. And that's what I like about comics, is that there's a book out there for everyone if you look hard enough for it.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I feel the same way about what we're doing with this event. At the event, there's something for everyone if you look for it.
Yeah.
And we did a really great job with appropriate vendors, with the guests coming. And it's a space for everybody. And it's about, we have all this stuff going on in the world right now, but hey, let's take a dark, grotesque vacation for half a day and have some fun. And that's what this event is just coming together and celebrating. And all three of us that founded this are big believers that the community definitely deserves that.
Oh, and not only that, it's something around in our area doesn't have.
Yeah.
And we do live in a very conservative state.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that us weirdos.
What? It's weird.
Which I find myself completely normal. By society standards, I'm weird. Come to find and have a spot for this, and I'm excited about it because one, I get to be a character.
Oh,
I get to be my haunt character.
Okay.
I'll be running around, and then I'll be flipping around selling stuff. So it's a combination of a little bit of everything.
Heck yeah.
And that's what I find so endearing about cons, and the fact that we have a horror con coming to us.
Yeah.
I think that's
all three of us were very excited though to see it coming together, and of course we're keeping an eye on the response too. But Casey and Sam have just been excellent proponents of this online with the marketing, and just being able to help make this happen is just a pleasure of mine, too. So I just again want to give kudos to the other two because they have been. Sam designed the poster. I can't draw at all,
I know that feeling.
So I wish I could, but they both just have so much talent coming out of their fingertips, and I'm over here like I'll help. So I'm the humble third wheel.
So now with your expertise, because now you're officially expert with comic books. What is your favorite comic adaptation to a live or television show?
Boy, oh boy. So
you knew this was coming.
I know. This one, it's interesting because, a lot of people in my vein definitely adore like the Blade issues, and Blade is one of those low print comic runs where the movies are just cherished by many. And some of the covers from the 90s runs actually feature Wesley Snipes' Blade. For me, it's actually Werewolf by Night. When I heard that project was happening, I lost my mind. And I'm wearing a werewolf shirt that my friend got me for my birthday, just because I adore werewolves. I am actually really new to horror cinema.
Okay.
I'll be very honest with you. And so just last year, I was over at a buddy's house. We watched the original Wolfman film, and then I got to watch the remake. And doing them back to back like that was really meaningful for me, because you just kind of see like, oh, that's how they're going to do that character like 60 years later or whatever the case is, But it's just so fun to see a tale retold. But I got to say, the original had it going on, to the point that around Halloween, I was putting on some of the other old classics like your Dracula films or whatever, just letting them run, while I'm cleaning around the house and having fun, And I got to say that it reminds me a lot of comics intrinsically in terms of there's something for everyone with the spooky stuff too, and it's just such a fun experience. It's okay to get scared, to be jumpy, to have that shared experience with someone else, and that's like what this event's about, that's what movies are about, that's what comics are about. And so I always see all these things as an us thing. You don't think of horror stuff as being huggy or anything like that, but it really is like bringing people together. So I don't know, I think it's pretty cool.
Well, and see, I'm a big proponent with comedy and horror.
Okay.
And I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead is a perfect example of that. Young Frankenstein. See, I like doing the original Frankenstein, and then immediately afterwards, Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And you see the comparisons on how they portrayed it and honored it, the homage to it, besides being in black and white, and the comedy aspect of it. And you could take those comedy bits and literally put them into that Frankenstein movie. And that's that. I thought that was an amazing aspect when Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks came up with that. So and to me, that was what I really enjoyed about that. So comic book wise, it's kind of a two-parter. You said you like your magic.
Yeah.
So who is your favorite magic end? And then I'm going to go on the other side of that. Who is and it could be anybody on any indie major label. Then on the other side, who's your favorite lesser known character?
Oh, woof. Okay. Well, let's see here. Lesser known is a tough one, because to me they're all such a big deal that I've been celebrating them forever. I gotta say, first of all, for the magic user, from having read a lot of it, and by a lot of it, it's not too terribly much. Scarlet Witch, ironically, has some really strong literature behind her. So in comics, sometimes they like to release these epic collections and what are called trade paperbacks, where it's just several comics put into a book, much cheaper than trying to get those originals from back in the day. And when WandaVision dropped on Disney Plus, I actually got this Wanda and Vision trade that talked about their original coming together. And there was a follow-up story after that talked about Vision with his synthetic family. And it was actually incredibly dark. And interesting. And so I watched both of those before jumping into the show. And I'm a big believer of doing that in terms of, let's research and read up on what we're going to be enjoying and get that maximum value out of it. So I got, Scarlet Witch, she has 4 or I think we're on volume 5 now, because it just did volume 4 and then restarted again. I don't know. It's annoying as a comic collector to have a lot of number ones. We'll put it that way. X-Men.
What year?
Yeah. But I do think that she has some really cool arcs to her. And her chemistry with Vision, that magic technology blend, is just really cool to me. So lesser known character. This is a good one. I gotta give it up. Man-Thing is known now because of Werewolf by Night, but Swamp Thing stole the spotlight back in the day, and
Yes,
Man-Thing was kind of a byproduct. And so I got to give it up to my boy Theodore, Ted. And I loved his rendition in Werewolf by Night, just seeing him brought to life, because they did it right. It was great. I've actually encountered, before I was into spooky stuff, I was actually collecting just a ton of Marvel team books like X-Men, Thunderbolts, all that stuff. And Man-Thing was actually on the Thunderbolts for a minute, like a later iteration of it under Luke Cage. And so I was like, who is this guy? And now I actually own about, I think, 75% of all the Man-Thing, like old books and stuff. P.S. for everyone listening, don't jump into collecting this stuff like I did, because that was thousands of dollars of pain train just to get what I have, and I have probably about 80% of everything, but some of that stuff gets up there. It's really expensive. So shout out to Marvel Unlimited and similar reading services online, if you want to get your stories in. So yeah, I'd give it up for those two.
Man Thing. Oh wow, the original before Swamp Thing, and they just happened to have the TV deal back in the 70s, and that's what really exploded Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Especially with Marvel and DC stealing each other's characters.
Totally.
I mean, look at Deadpool. That's
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke. 100%.
Hands down.
I mean, the only thing that differentiated him was the pouches, and and Deadpool had such a hard on for his pouches.
Yes, he did.
But on April 26th, we're having a fun little thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. And so, Screams by Night. And I heard it's from what time to what time, and where is it at?
Yep, so we're going to be at the Social. So that's over on East. I get 10th and 12th mixed up all the time. That's how good of a Sioux Fallsian I am, because it just runs silly. That road by I-20 by 229, yeah. East of 229 by Osted's Golf, tucked away. It's right by what's the pizza place right there? Thomas Ellie's.
Yeah.
Just a block south of that is the Social. So it's the old Pocket Bar. Really nice place. Shout out to Lynette, the owner, for letting us do this. Lynette's worked with me on several events in the past, and so we're really thrilled about that partnership too. It's just such a perfect space for a year one to see how we do, and maybe in the future we can do another one and branch out to use that outside space behind. But weather, you never know.
Right. the old saying in South Dakota, if you don't like the weather here, wait 3 minutes. It gets worse.
For real.
So.
All 4 seasons in a day, man.
Exactly.
Event kicks off at 11 a.m. and then we are runtime 5 p.m. And then after that, we have an event at the State Theater, I believe. I'm eyeballing Casey. Okay. Casey's been running the lead on that. So my main thing, though, about this is that the guests are phenomenal. The vendors are phenomenal. The response that we had to it in terms of those vendor spots flying as quick as they did. Holy smokes.
Yeah. I was listening to Casey and Sam and conversating with Zach earlier. Over 24 vendors. I mean, that's for an opening first time con. That's horror con. Let me get that specified in there. In the Sioux Falls area. That's impressive. And I know there's a couple extra things you guys are working on. Could you want to specify on that?
So there will be a silent auction going on during the event. Keep an eye on our socials for that, and we'll be getting some information about that shortly. The goal with that, of course, is to donate to our charity of choice, which is the Transformation Project. Shout out to them. And they wrote a really nice post, by the way. I love seeing our event lifted up like that. It's really cool that it means something,
right?
And that we're bringing positive change, through our spookiness and awesomeness. So it's kind of fun. I'm a big believer that superheroes come in all shapes and sizes.
Yes, they do. They do.
Even if you're a super villain.
Hey, everybody believes their story, whether it's right with society or not. A good villain is a true hero in their eyes.
Yeah. So. The other aspect of the con to lift up is that we did just finalize. We're going to have a photo booth there that will be free to all guests. So you'll be able to take photos, and if our celebrity guests are up to it, getting a photo with them, who knows? But it should be a really good time. So Redhead's photo booth will be joining us for that, and it'll be good.
Maybe some of the monsters can come over. Yeah. I'm getting a head shake on that one. So that is amazing. I like that. And then you're doing stuff at the state. I heard. Do you know what movie's being played, or Toxic Avenger, if I remember right?
The original Toxic Avenger, and then with Mark present, that's just going to be like the cherry on top.
Oh yeah.
I gotta say too, man, just shout out to the State Theater. Like, first of all, what a beautiful facility. I think a lot of people around town still don't know about it, and I encourage anyone listening, if you haven't been there before, definitely go check them out. Grab a film. It's a good variety of programming, and the seats are amazing. The popcorn is amazing. So definitely just check it out, though. It's just such a gem and deserves to be visited.
And I have to admit, I'm such an invert. I can't talk. Inward person. I don't go out much at all.
Yeah.
So I've never been to the state.
Oh, sure.
And then every time I think about doing something, it's already passed. So then I see Casey and Sam going, "Hey, we just showed a film." I'm like going, "Oh, I should have went to that." But at that same time, I'm going, I'm so happy at home.
Yeah.
But no, I would love to go do something like that too, and just get out to the state just to go see it. But in correlation with what's going on, seeing the Toxic Avenger that's over 40 years old now. It was 9 when it came out. I'm not showing my age. I don't go by birthdays. I go by levels. My XP is amazing right now. So I think that's amazing and awesome. Anything else you want to talk about, John?
I would just say definitely for those of you listening that just aren't familiar with the event yet at this point, hopefully you are if you listen to the first episode and then this one. But again, come check it out. It really is going to be a space for everyone, and we're just thrilled that it's come to undead life successfully, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And surrounding that, check out the auxiliary events too. So we have the State Theater going on. Terror 29 happens to be doing something kind of cool.
Are?
What?
Oh my God! Thanks for plugging us, John. I was waiting for that osmosis. No, yeah. Terror 29 is going to be there. We're going to be open up on the 25th and 26th from 8 to 11, both that Friday and Saturday. You can go to terror29.com to get tickets. You can come into our wonderful and beautiful gift shop that we do have.
It is beautiful.
Yes, it is. And we're very proud of it. And we can get tickets and you can come see us. And then on top of that, we're going to be at the convention itself, Screams by Night. And we're going to have selling our NECA products, our Trick or Treat Studio products, along with Monsters. They're going to be roaming around. Not just at the booth, but going to visit everybody.
Heck yeah.
And going to see what happens with that. And I think that's going to be fun too. Plus, along with some of the other special guests. Yep. And I don't remember all their names. I just know him from YouTube, but he makes the music Casey, how do we say it? Aurelio Voltaire. I should really have
with a name like that. He just sounds like incredible. Well, I'm excited to meet him. I
was telling Casey earlier. I used to watch it because he used to do his Gothic house.
Oh, cool.
And he would do improvements and all this stuff. And then he was doing the music. And I go, well, that's not why I started watching him. Yeah. So I quit doing that, and then I see he's on the on the sheet as one of the guests. I'm like, I know him, you know.
Yeah.
And then we have the gentleman from Shaun of the Dead.
Yep. Mr. Mark Donovan will be in the building. I'm excited to meet him, too. He sounds really nice.
Yeah, I should really go up to him with a box of records and saying, yes, no, yes. Find a piece of vinyl that you'd sign for me. You know?
And, I'm also really intrigued. So I have not met this group or individual before, but Bad Hand Books with the authors coming down and just being a part of our event is super cool. So I've heard nothing but praise about them. So I am excited to meet them. And I get a kick out of the social media, too. It's fun. Yeah.
Nice. Well, John, if there's nothing else you want to talk about.
Shout out again, Comics by Night. Definitely check me out on YouTube. Coming up in the next month or so, I'm going to start kind of raising the dead and making those comic books float again in my intro. It's a lot of fun. And then also, I'm actually double sponsoring the event through our comic book studio that I run, Bamboo Panel Studios, which is cool. And so that's where the photo booth came from for this convention. So shout out to Bamboo Panel Studios as well. Siouxland Library just had us out. We did a presentation, and then we're able to sell books and meet with people afterwards, and it was really cool. So we're looking forward to doing more events coming up too like that. So,
I find this all amazing, and I really do, because like I said, I'm such an introvert, that I know haunt life.
Yeah.
and I go exploring other haunts, get ideas, build my life as a haunter.
Yeah.
And to have the fact that we're bringing that outside world in.
Yeah.
So that's my secret plan all along. I'm such an introvert. I just make other people come to me. Then you come inside my world, you know?
No, that's all right. But, definitely just shout out to Terror 29. And if you haven't actually been to the store yet, you guys come check it out. And it's just been really cool. It's been very welcoming, delightful. To me, it's like a chandelier of like everything dreadful and amazing. And I don't know.
Yeah, we're just on the iceberg, just on the tip.
Yeah.
And you can always come to our store at terror29.com. The gift shop's open from 12 to 5 every Saturday. You can, again, go to terror29.com, check out our socials. Terror29 Haunt. What socials do you have?
So Comics by Night for sure on Facebook and Instagram. And then for Bamboo Panel Studios, same thing. Facebook and Instagram.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
John, this has been wonderful. I'm so glad I got to meet you.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to pick your brain more and go from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for having me, and we'll see everybody at Screams by Night, April 26th.
Yep. Thank you. And everybody, I just want to say thank you, and you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.